Orcas, otherwise known as killer whales. They have killer in their name, or one of their names, for a reason. Now, while they may look quite friendly, they can actually be quite dangerous to be around. And I'm hoping that this video will outline exactly why, so that you can know exactly why you shouldn't approach one in the wild. After all, there are consistently human deaths caused by orcas every year, but more about that later. So why orcas also called killer whales? Now, this may seem like a silly question. If they have killer in their name, then they must be dangerous. They must pose a large threat to humans and other marine life. While that is true, there are more details as to why they have their name. The name comes from old sailors who saw orcas hunting whales which were much bigger than they were, meaning that the name killer whale actually means killers of whales. Their old name was whale killer, but it was later flipped to killer whale, because I suppose that scientists wanted to confuse everyone, given that orcas are dolphins, not whales. So the killer part of their name, what makes orcas so dangerous that they need to be officially labeled as killers? Well, orcas are big, and I mean big. They average at about 6 to 7 meters in length, and the average adult female orca weighs between 3,000 and 4,000 kilograms. That's big, and it's heavy. Now you could be thinking that something that heavy couldn't move too quickly. And so a lot of smaller fish, and maybe even humans, could actually have a chance of escaping from the sights of an orca should they be unfortunate enough to come across one in the wild. But no, while they may be large and heavy, they are still quick, purely because of their strength. If you consider that the strongest human in the world could weigh more than 3 times the weight of a normal human, you won't assume that you'd be able to outrun them, would you? Being strong means that every part of your body is strong, and so in terms of humans, that means strong legs and strong arms, meaning that a strong person is likely to be quick and able to pack a hefty punch. Orcas are no different. They are strong swimmers, and they are strong conventionally too. Pairing this with their long and horrifically sharp teeth, and you can imagine just how brutal an encounter with an orca could easily become. Should you get on the wrong side of an orca, there's no telling how much damage one could do to you within only a few seconds. And given that escaping doesn't seem to be much of an option, coming too close to an orca which decides that you'll be its lunch would, to put it simply, be the end of you. Now yes, orcas are large, heavy, strong, and they are big. Sharp teeth, but surely that's all. Nature couldn't have given every attribute necessary to be a successful predator to the orcas, right? They have to be quite stupid to make it fair to the other creatures in the sea. Well, no, orcas are intelligent too, and this is probably because they are a breed of dolphin. Everyone knows that dolphins are some of the smartest animals which have ever existed, aside from humans, of course. Given that no dolphin has ever launched a rocket into space, though that is an amusing picture, and so being a breed of dolphin is going to naturally make you into an intelligent animal. Some research even suggests that orcas could be as naturally intelligent as humans are, just only in their own habitat, that being the ocean. So given that orcas seem to be too overpowered to be a fair fight, our only hope is to assume that they simply won't try to attack human, right? If they are scared of humans and make an effort to avoid us, then we're safe. Well, judging from incidents in the past, they aren't afraid to try to attack a human. Yes, it's rare for there to be an attack on a human by an orca in the wild, even despite the fact that they can be found in every ocean in the world, but there have been cases involving orcas held in captivity. I'm sure that you could imagine that being held in captivity when you're a naturally aggressive creature is something which could only result in blood and screaming. And you'd be right, especially when considering a certain orca, TILIKUM. There have been 4 fatal attacks because of interactions with captive orcas, and 3 of those deaths have been caused by the orca called TILIKUM. There was a documentary called Blackfish which was released in 2013 by CNN Films, and this documentary featured the idea that orcas who are held in captivity actually suffer some psychological damage which amplifies their aggressive tendencies. And given that TILIKUM was captured in 1983, it's been quite a while since this orca was free, and assuming that this idea of psychological damage developing over time that orca is held in captivity is correct, then it's clear that TILIKUM has had a lot of time to become quite unhinged and way more aggressive than a normal wild orca would be. So, 3 deaths have been caused by one orca and the other death has been caused by a separate orca. So, with there only being 4 human deaths, which have been caused by an orca and which have been recorded, remember that it's possible for there to have been more unrecorded deaths. It's safe to say that fatal attacks on humans by orcas are quite rare, so you don't need to worry too much. While there have been a lot of attacks which haven't been fatal in the end, as long as you don't do anything to actively provoke an orca should you go to see one in captivity, then you should be fine. Just be careful. In terms of coming across one in the wild, it's recommended that you don't try to stay calm and that you get out of the water as soon as you can. It's likely that the orca hasn't met a human before, so it'll probably be apprehensive, giving you some time to get away. The Antarctic is estimated to house about half of the population of orcas in the entire world, so you're unlikely to come across one unless you're around the Antarctic Ocean. So I wouldn't worry about having an encounter with one very much. So that's why orcas are called killer whales. I think that is clear that orcas are scary animals, but there are probably some more animals in the world which are even scarier. If you know of any, let us know in the comments. Now, if you like this video, be sure to let us know by leaving a like and make sure to subscribe and to ring that notification bell to be notified of any more of this sort of content when it's released. Leave a comment with any suggestions for future topics too.